Well, good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. Super excited about the presentation today. But before we get in that, my name is Jim Codney. I'm National Sales Director here at Western Marketing. A couple of housekeeping pieces. First of all, our guest presenter, Leon Fitch, and I are here for you. So if you have questions, please type them in the question box. Anything that makes sense to talk to or talk about in front of everybody, we will hit at the end of this webinar. If it's on an individual case, just know that we will follow up with you after the presentation. This presentation is being recorded, but keep in mind, things are always subject to change, rates, product availability, et cetera. So please, before you do anything, if you have questions, check with EquiTrust, check with your marketer here at Western Marketing. And with that, it's my pleasure to introduce not only a business partner, one of the best in the business, but also somebody who's become one of my very best friends. He's here to talk about EquiTrust. And the annuity market this year has been a little tough for a lot of us, right? And it's really awesome when a carrier partner like EquiTrust actually makes changes to help you get more business. And that's exactly what EquiTrust has done. And they put their money where their mouth is, proverbially. And Leon will, I'm not going to steal his thunder for the presentation, but it's nice because not many other carrier partners out there have done that. So without further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce Leon Fitch with EquiTrust. Leon, good morning.
Hey, Jim, I appreciate it. And you said everything there that I was kind of thinking, and had a conversation with one of my colleagues about just where we're at, and we were talking about our year last year, which was a record year. And I think almost everybody, had their best year ever. You couldn't go anywhere where they were like, hey, this is the best year we've ever had. And then, we all kind of expected a little bit of a slide this year, just market conditions, all the things that cause volatility in our space. But that said, I was making the comment that, hey, we're still going to have like a top 3 all-time year this year. It's just not going to be better than last year. So sometimes we got to, you always want to do better than you did last year, but perspective is healthy, I believe. And I still think we're going to have a good year. And part of that is because you have to adjust, right? And whether that's a product focus, it's a service, whatever it is to grow your business, to gain your market share, you have to do that. And I think that's one of my favorite things about working at EquiTrust is that we don't, at least since I've been here, we don't stand pat, right? We've got new innovative products coming out. We've had 3 product launches since I've been here over the last 2 years. So we're always trying to meet the customer and the agent where they are. So that's always fun and exciting for me. And I've got a concept today to share with you, a product today to share with you. I've got a teaser to share with you, a little advance notice for those that decided to jump on this that will lead to hopefully a future webinar, Jim. And then I got some things that we're doing from a bonus perspective that I'm going to share with you as well. So a lot to cover in a short amount of time, but and to reiterate what Jim said, look, I work with a lot of people, a lot of groups, and they're all great in their own way, but Jim has become a friend and truly a partner in this business, and someone that we can have some of the most honest conversations, and we don't always agree, and that's okay. And sometimes that's what you need. You need a person to bounce something off of that has a different perspective and helps us shape the way we do business. So appreciate him and obviously Western Marketing a ton. They've been a great partner to work with. So with that, let's jump in here. I'm going to start by kind of showing you just philosophically what we did a while back. This is in March. We did a fixed index annuity redesign. We really recategorized our fixed index annuity portfolio into base FIA, bonus FIA, and income. We peeled our income product off of our base FIA chassis. And what that allowed us to do was offer better bonuses on our bonus products, better rates on both base FIAs and bonus FIAs, so it can put us in a much more competitive position. And then at least one of our income products is in a really competitive position. So overall, that's been a good move. It was a shift. Jim can attest to that. It was really a shift in philosophy, but I think it's been the right way to go. This is kind of what that looks like, and I'm not going to get into all these products today, but I wanted to give you a visual of kind of, excuse me, what that looked like, right? We've got our accumulation focused products, our bonus products, which I'm going to show you a premium special we're running on all three of these products here in a minute. I'm going to talk to you about Market Edge, our Market Power, which is a single premium product, which is one of our most popular products, and a Market 10, kind of our Swiss Army knife flexible premium bonus product, which I love. And then our income focused Market Early, Market Future, and then our accumulate, just base accumulation, strong, really solid FIA products. Market Value's been around for a long time. It's been one of our go-to products. Market 7, a strong 7-year FIA. Market 5 is one of our hottest products, a 5-year FIA. Really simple, great entry point for clients that haven't been annuity folks in the past. So we've got a lot of cool things going on, from a product perspective. So let's talk Market Edge. So just the specs, right? Nothing crazy. Well, I shouldn't say that. There's a lot of crazy here. Okay, and I already see a play. So I had to update these slides because of the bonus. So I'll correct these as I go, so the math works out. But issue age 0 to 80, it's a 10-year product. That 20% bonus credit over 3 years, ignore that. I'm going to show you something better here on the next slide. That 11% premium bonus at issue is actually part of this premium bonus that I'm going to share you. That was rolled out at 8%. That's how you get that 20% bonus credited over 3 years. If that was 8, and then you see the next slide or next bullet there, 4% accumulation value credited the first 3 contract years. So essentially, and I'm going to show you this visually, that would be 20%, but it's actually 23. If I could go in and change that to a 3, I would. I missed that one when I was fixing the slides. Oh crap. So yeah, there it is. Okay, so I did adjust this. So the Market Edge bonus, if you're like me, you like big pictures, 23% bonus credited over the first 3 years. It's actually 24.9 because we pay you the bonus on the bonus, right? So if you took $100,000, added 11% to it, right? They're going to have some accumulation growth in there, whether they pick the fixed, the point-to-point, whatever index strategy they pick. Then we're going to get to the end of the first contract year, and we're going to give them that first additional 4% bonus. That gets paid on the original. Again, in my example, 100,000 plus the 11, so you got 111. We're going to pay them 4% on top of that 111. It's not on the additional index growth, but it's still paid on top, so it's compounding. Then in year 2, or I'm sorry, end of contract year 2, we're going to pay them 4% on the 11. The 100, the 111, the 4, and the 4, and then we're going to do that again in year 3. That compounds to a 24.9% bonus. I don't know about you. I spent a lot of time talking to folks about Roth conversions, partial tax conversions, and boy, this has been a really, really cool product to talk about with folks that are in that space. You got somebody that's in a 24% tax bracket. They can literally eliminate the taxable obligation from a Roth, on a Roth conversion or on an inherited IRA, whatever the problem we're solving. And we've got one of the most robust partial tax conversion Roth IRA programs I believe it's the best. There have been some companies that have improved theirs recently, I think, because they're trying to catch up to us because we're winning quite a bit of business in that space because that's a huge market right now. You guys know the trillions of dollars that are going to be passed down here over the next couple of decades. And well, you've got to have a tool and products to support that. I think this is one of those. Just teaser alert. I'll show you another one here at the end that we're getting ready to roll out here in a few days. So I talked about the premium bonus, so you can kind of see what that looks like, right? It's just another view of the last slide, right? 11% at issue, 4%. 4%, right? Some of these slides are a little outdated, but you guys get the point. The rates, these are updated. So I want you to frame this in your mind. So with these high bonus products, right? What's the issue with them typically? Well, you're looking at it, right? Is that we're not getting huge rates and caps, and that's the issue, right? So we either have a baseline FIA with really good rates, or a base FIA with really good rates and accumulation on that side with no bonus, or we have the bonus and we have low rates, and it's like, yeah, that's why when I go talk to a client, we talk 2.75 or 5.5 on the point to point, which by the way, in this space, those are competitive rates. but it's sometimes a tough sell to the client, even with the big bonus, right? So just keep that in mind. I'm gonna have a solution for you here as a teaser at the end. All right, so market edge bonus. Look, everything, and I'm about to transition here in a minute to literally, I'm just going to go on what you're looking at right now, which is our agent website, for a couple of reasons. Jim, and he can attest this. I started doing this on almost every webinar. I think there's value in teaching you how to fish, right? And if you can go out to our website, you can find almost everything you might need, right? Whether it's contracting paperwork, forms and supplies, advertising support, any your commissions, your pending business, sales tools, products, anything, right? Also, you can find any special we have. Get to our microsites. I'm going to show you all that here in just a second. So a couple of things I always like to touch on is don't forget the EquiTrust tiered comp program. So first you get to $5 million, we're going to give you an extra 1% commission on all the business you had written, up to that point, and then throughout that year. If you get to 10 million, you get a 1.5. We write some really, really big checks for this program. It's been in play now for I think 2 years. And there's nothing I like more than being at an event and someone's like, Leon, you deposited, X amount of money in my, not me personally, but, and I've actually had a couple of people say, man, I got this big deposit and I didn't know what it was. I had to call your home office. I thought they made a mistake. And what it ended up being is this tiered comp program. So I've made it a mission of mine to make sure that every time I talk to a group, I tell them about this, because it's kind of embarrassing that the person tells me they didn't even know why they got the money. But that's never a bad conversation. And Jim, I don't know about you, I've always, I'd love to be in a financial place where someone could drop a really large sum of money in my bank account and I didn't know, it was like I didn't know where it came from, or notice it for a week or two, So I love this program. It's been a real winner for us, and it's driven some business, because folks want to get to these tiers and make that make those extra dollars, right? At that 5 million, you hit that, some extra 50 grand in your pocket. So that's real money, at least in the Fitch household. So Whistler, I've actually, of all the places I've been, I've actually never been to Whistler. I've heard great things about it. Look, this is one of those things where that you can find and get information on our website. When we do trips, guys, we do them pretty small. You can see it's that we're going to do a kind of a top 10 in Vancouver, which is going to be, our last trip. We didn't do a kind of the pre-trip for the top 10. I can only imagine how great that's going to be. Because if anybody that's attended one of our trips, I've had multiple people say, hey, I've been all over the world. You guys do it as well, if not better than anybody. And I think part of that is because we do keep it kind of small, right? The top 40 qualifiers, that allows us to really, ramp up how we treat you, ramp up the amenities, ramp up the type of property we stay at. So you guys can see the eligibility there. This is,
hey, Leon.
Yeah.
Sorry to jump in, but before you move on, I've been to both Vancouver and Whistler, and they're both beautiful. They're both absolutely beautiful. They held the Winter Olympics several years ago in Whistler. Vancouver's on the coast, and some really cool places there. So, for those of you who like trips, not a bad trip. Plus, remember, and again, not to steal too much of your thunder, but folks, remember, you get credit for our trip as well when you're selling EquiTrust products with contracts through us. So, hey, double dip and go on some great trips. We're going to Aruba next year, so why not? Sorry, go ahead, Leon.
I'm hoping I'm on that one. I've never been to Aruba either. I need to get there.
Absolutely beautiful. I love it. It's one of my favorite places in the world, even if we weren't going with Western Marketing. So
yeah, no, that's awesome. All right, so listen, now I could probably get in trouble for this, so I'm gonna ask for some grace here. I'm gonna give the folks on this call a little precursor or sneak peek at a new product we're getting ready to roll out. I'm only going to give you enough to be dangerous, but I am going to tell you a little conception. It's kind of why earlier I said, hey, I want you to think about, what's the issue sometimes with these big bonus products. Big bonus, great, get the accumulation value ramped up, right? And we love that. A lot of useful things you can do with that. Like I said, Roth IRAs, but boy, the rates, whether they're sometimes are hard to swallow, right? So I'm gonna I'm going to give you a little sneak peek. We're rolling this thing out next week, so I'm not too far ahead. But I told Jim, hey, if we get on here, we probably should give him a hint anyway, get him fired up about it. All right, so innovation has arrived. It's in the form of a product we're going to roll out called Smart Boost Index. It's an indexed annuity. It's built on an FIA chassis. We use the term boost for a reason, because I just talked to you about a bonus product. This is different. A boost is different. So it's going to be a 40% boost with no fee. So as you can see, we're really conscious of saying not a bonus, a boost. Really, the thought process here is we're going to blend and optimize the blend of a bonus and non-FIA advantages. First of its kind. There's not another product out there like this. Trust me. I want you to think, have your cake and eat it too, right? We can have the boost, right, that has a lot of the features of a bonus, right, giving some guarantees to the client while giving them that upside with really competitive caps and rates. So excited. We've been talking about this now for about a week. Doing rollouts with our marketing organization partners. Jim's been on a webinar and is to this product, so we're excited about what this can do. So kind of what does it provide, right? So top tier guaranteed accumulation, right? So clients guaranteed a 40% return over 10 years, vested 4% annually. So think in this term. Zero, remember, zero is your hero. How many times have we all said that, right? How about 4 is your floor? We've changed it, okay? 4 is your floor, but you still have upside, right? Because this is going to allow us, the way it's structured and the way the interest credits, it allows us to offer higher caps, higher participation rates, and really, when you see this and compare it to the competition, guys, and Jim was probably surprised at this, maybe not, but I know I was. We actually showed some competitive information that showed company names, right? Use the term 100%. We win 100% of the time. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I mean, for a lot of reasons, companies typically, nothing is 100%. And it's like, one of those things where it's almost, suitability. They won't guarantee anything. We used 100%. I was shocked, and that's because they've run all of the scenarios and and run all the data. And then it's an immediate legacy boost. So day one death benefit equal to 140% of the premium. So that's powerful. So I'm excited about this product, guys. So I just gave you a real snapshot of it, not enough to do anything with it, but hopefully enough to get you excited to hear more. Jim, once we get this thing rolled out, we have a couple of agent webinars we'll communicate that you guys can jump on. I believe on August 4th and August 8th. I'll check those dates, so I'll make sure you have those, Jim, so we can advertise and get as many people on those as possible. But I want to give you guys a little sneak peek of that if I could. So, all right, Jim, anything we missed that you think we should hit or cover as far as that goes? And then I can jump into the bonus products.
Really quick on those. Look, 2 different strategies that sound similar at first until you really look at the way they're built, right? So yeah. They're built completely different to solve 2 different problems, basically, is how I look at it. If you look at Market Edge, you're looking at covering the tax on Roth conversion. You're looking at overcoming small surrender charges if somebody wants to move a couple years before their annuity, or if they want to overcome some market losses, right? Maybe they've got money in the market, have lost 5 or 10%, want to move that money into something safer, at least some of that money. It's a great opportunity with Market Edge. It's honestly, folks, where it's available right now, it's my favorite bonus indexed annuity product. Smart Boost is going to be completely different, even though if you're new to hearing about Smart Boost, sounds similar, right? It almost sounds like a 40% bonus, but make sure you understand that it's not. It's a boost, and we're splitting hairs here maybe, but there is a difference, because for those of you who are newer to the indexed annuity and the bonus indexed annuity market, as Leon said earlier, there's a trade-off typically when you have a bonus, especially a big bonus, right? Your caps, your spreads, your participation rates are lower on those than they are in non-bonus products. And effectively, typically, they should end up similar places, after the surrender charge is over if it's the same surrender charge. Now, not exact, but they're kind of built a lot of times that way. At least the company I used to work for, when we price them, that's how we tried to price them. Smart Boost is completely different. You are not giving up caps, spreads, participation rates, stuff like that for the 4% vested every year for 10 years. So different way to skin a cat. I'm really excited to see how Smart Boost works, because if your client doesn't need that big upfront or after 3 years almost 25%, but they do want some guarantees throughout the term, maybe they're worried about the US economy for the next 8 or 10 years, Smart Boost might be a great answer. So sorry to go too long into that, Liam, but I really think they're both great products. And before we switch, I do want to bring up one other thing that you didn't bring up, about a completely different annuity. The MIGAs that EquiTrust have, folks, are our number one MIGAs in the market right now. They're multi-year guarantee annuities, so they're fixed rates for a specific duration. They are our top multi-year guarantee annuity company right now, year to date. Very competitive products. So if you have people that are looking to maybe instead have an alternative to bank CD or something like that, or they just want guarantees, the multi-year guarantee annuities with EquiTrust are ultra competitive. So no, we weren't here to talk about that, but I'd be remiss not to include that somewhere because they are so good. So go ahead, Leon.
No, for sure. And bear with me here as I'm going to try to close that. So did that just knock down that PowerPoint? All right.
Yeah. So we cannot see your screen currently. Now we can.
Okay, you do. Okay, so you see the website. Okay, awesome. That's always the hairy part with these. Like, can I handle the tech? So yeah, this is our agent website. So we're going to talk. So I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this, but I just wanted to introduce you to it. I think we have one of the best websites out there for a lot of reasons. We're very, very transparent. You can find a ton of stuff, for and I'm not even logged in here, so it's limiting. But you can go over here and see what our new business processing times are. 5 to 8 business days. I know a lot of companies have started to do that more and more. We've done this for a long time. If you want to have an idea, and by the way, we're always very conservative on this. We get business in good order right now. They'd be so mad if I was telling you this. It's probably closer to 3 to 5 days than it is 5 to 8. But and again, that's business in good order. Up here, you can click on sales tools. You can find, this is where you can get your illustration tool. This is where I think this is, if you have a product question, click on product offerings. And that drop down, and you got everything at your fingertips right here that you would need, right? So so I just talked Market Edge. You click Market Edge, it goes in and give you all the details, right? So you have any questions about Market Edge? So right, and this I try to educate folks on this because time is money, right? That's the old adage. And if you're like, well, I'd like to learn more about that, and you email Jim, and Jim emails me, can you send me this, right? Now, Jim wouldn't do that. He would get you the information directly through this, but I get this a lot, right? So if you're like me, you're sitting at your desk, you're like, have an idea, and you're like, boy, I want to learn more about that Market Edge. It takes you half an hour to get the information. Before you know it, you forgot about it. You've had a client appointment, you've moved on, right? Well, I just got here in 10 seconds. You can go in, you can check the rates, right? State approvals and variations. You can get all the answers you need. Any marketing material you need, it's right here. Okay, so this is a one-stop shop for product information. So I love to show people that. And then over here, okay, so first of all, microsites, that new products, we have Bridge, which is our long-term care annuity hybrid. We got Wealth Max Bonus, which is a single premium wealth transfer, a single premium life wealth transfer, and living benefits product. These are great resources to learn these products. Smart Boost will be on here as well. And then specials. Hey, what's EquiTrust got going on, right? Click on that. It'll give you a little PDF. You can click that. You can click on that PDF and download it so you have it, right? So here's what our current special is through September 30th. I just talked to you about Market Edge. So here's what I was saying. The actual standard premium bonus is 8. I showed you that at 11, right? Because that's what it is through September 30th, right? Then you got Market Power. The typical bonus is 12%. That's that single premium product that I talked to you about, single premium bonus product that I talked to you about. That's from 12 to 15%. So that's a really nice rate. And then I think Market 10 is really interesting. So the base bonus there is 8%, but that's for 5 years, meaning for the first 5 years they capture, and if you write that contract today, right, and during this period, and get the 11%, that's for the first 5 years. So if we go back to the 8% on, after this bonus, the year 2, 3, 4, 5 don't go to 8%. You lock in the 11%. So think about, you've got a CD person, or just, someone that's got different piles of money coming available over the next 3, 4, 5 years. What a cool conversation to talk to, them about capturing that bonus for the next 5 years. Who knows what the market looks like next year, right? And then Wealth Max bonus is our single premium life. That's got a 12% upfront premium bonus, which I think is really healthy to begin with. That's bumped up to 15%. So awesome opportunity. Look, I always jokingly say, but I'm not joking when I say, you guys are for-profit organizations. We want to make sure we're compensating you well, but part of that is offering, enticements and quality opportunities for the client to win, right? We think that these, in all 4 of these products, we've offered, I think top of the market, opportunity for folks to do that. And look, and I'll close out with this as my EquiTrust commercial. Whether you've done business with us or not, one of the things, and Jim, I'll let you attest to this or not. I think I know where you stand. We're really transparent, guys. We don't do things like teaser rates, and we do bonuses and stuff like everybody else, commission specials and all those things. But on our base pricing philosophy, we don't do teaser rates. We price the rate where it's at that day. Sometimes we might not be the best rate then, but we're also not subsidizing the cap, with the fixed rate, right? And then next year the cap drops to the floor and you're answering questions with your clients. What happened? This is what you sold me. This is now a 10-year product I'm locked into. We don't play that game. We raise renewal rates when we can. We lower them when we have to, but we're pretty consistent. And you can go on our website and look and literally find our renewal rates. Interest rates. I'm not going to go through this because of the time. Click on that. You literally, there'll be a drop down. You know what? I'll show you because it's really easy, right? You hit renewal rates, any product you want to pick, so something that's been in play for a while. Let's go down here to, doesn't matter, Market 10, right? Boom. You put whatever date you want to see the renewal rates from. So you say, hey, I want to see how this thing's done in the last 10 years. You click it, it'll show you the renewal rates for the last 10 years. So, we're not hiding it, right? So it doesn't mean it's always perfect, but we're very, very transparent. When I'm selling a Trust Me product with a client and I'm selling them EquiTrust, that's something I would absolutely use. Hey, they've had really good rate stability, with most of their products. And it's just specifically, here's what this product's done the last 10 years. And I think that is, I think that's just a home run. So that's kind of my I think we're great from the service perspective and product innovation. I think right now we're almost second to none, with looking for new ways to provide the tools and resources for, our partners to win in the marketplace. So there you have it, Jim. So yeah, that's what I have.
Thanks, Leon. A couple quick things. Leon brought up their Bridge product. It's a true long-term care, like a hybrid fixed index annuity with real long-term care benefits. Folks, keep in mind, long-term care isn't what it used to be 10, 15 years ago. There's only 2 or 3 players in the traditional LTC space now. The numbers I'm hearing are roughly 50% of the underwritten apps are getting declined. There's a big need for long-term care. Some states like Washington are even requiring their residents to have long-term care coverage now. Go ahead.
More states are really close to doing that.
Are coming. Yeah. But to add to that, if you're looking to maybe add long-term care, hybrid long-term care really to your product portfolio offerings, we are actually doing a webinar in 2 weeks about a turnkey program, 0 cost to you on that exact thing, hybrid long-term care, and Bridge is a big part of that. It's not the only product in that market, but it's definitely one that we use a lot in those offerings. So keep that in mind. Also, Wealth Max bonus, Leon talked about it for half a second. great single premium life. So if you have somebody has some assets, wants to really do wealth transfer, and they don't have to be uber rich to do wealth transfer, right? That's relative, depending on who we're talking about. When we say wealth transfer, Wealth Max Bonus is a really nice product. So, you know, Leon, you've said a lot in a short amount of time, which I really appreciate because I know I've been there. I was a carrier rep for almost 18 years before I came here, and I do these with a lot of carrier reps that just drone on and on and on. So I appreciate you getting, not having a bunch of fluff and just getting to what we need to talk about. I truly do.
Look, man,
Because
yeah.
time is money, right, brother?
Hey, if you've ever been on the other side of these, right? And I can't see everybody, right? I mean, but if it's like, okay, man, we can look the rates up, and we're all, if it's just a base product, like it's really hard to create a ton of difference. We got some of these niche products. I think they're really exciting. But I think the trick here is to show people enough to get them excited to maybe go to our website and look. I pulled the bridge up on, so again, right, I just went over here, clicked on microsite, and it gets me to bridge. You want to learn about bridge? Watch a 3-minute video. If you have 3 minutes in your life, right, watch a 3-minute video to give you enough to have a really good, understanding about it. Wealth Max is it's in the top 5 of my favorite products. Same thing, right? What is Wealth Max? You got 2 minutes and 8 seconds. All right. So in 5 minutes, go onto our microsites, watch what is Wealth Max, what is Bridge, and if it doesn't get you excited, fair enough, right? That would be my ask, my takeaway.
Totally fair. Yeah. So, folks, if you're working on clients that have potential annuity business, reach out to our team here. You can either ask for me. Again, my name's Jim Codney. I'm the National Sales Director, or whichever marketer you work with. We're happy to work up illustrations and put up, for example, market edge against carrier X, Y, and Z, and you and your clients can make the determination on what's best for them. And I will tell you, I believe market edge stands up pretty darn well, or we wouldn't be doing this webinar. But yeah, just let us know. Our number here, in case you don't have it at your fingertips, is 800-852-7152. Again, 800-852-7152. If you need anything, call us. If you aren't contracted yet with EquiTrust, feel free to reach out, and we're happy to get you set up. So with that, Leon, thank you very much for your time, my friend, as always. And we will schedule a Smart Boost webinar here, hopefully for August. And everybody else on the call, thank you very much for investing in your in your business with the time it took to be on this webinar. So with that, again, I hope you all have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.
Yeah, much appreciated. Yeah, see everybody. Bye-bye.